What is up, everybody? Welcome to a self-love tip of the day, as well as a collective read for the community. So have your cards ready to do your own reading and breakdown in the comments when we get to that point. And for those of you who are just getting to know us,
I'm Heather.
And I'm David.
From ZenRoseGarden.com,
home of Zen Ed Academy.
We have to put our money where our mouth is, because we built Zen Rose Garden to help people through some of the hardest traumas and emotional upsets of a life.
So we are here for you guys.
And here's my philosophy, okay? Right. Self-reliance. My parents were raised in the Depression. They were my grandparents' age. They should have been my grandparents, but they were raised in the Depression, and they taught me self-reliance. Like, go find what's growing in your garden, right? David's going to hold my plants. And also, I'm a firm believer in, if you give someone a fish, they will always be asking you to buy them sushi, right? So, and if you teach a person to fish, you will have all the friends who know how to fish, how to make the sushi, and your dinners will be way, way bougier. So this is my personal philosophy.
Yes. So, for instance, we have a year's supply of food in our yard, and we haven't even gardened for 5 years.
And what's more, I'm going to make this bougie Moroccan mallow salad with olive oil and all the spices that I have in my cupboard, and it's going to be awesome. So look around and see what you have to be self-reliant with. I bet. I mean, I'm kind of like a kid right now, you know, figuring things out. So, but we're big on teaching people to be self-reliant. That's sort of one of the things David and I do, as opposed to giving you all your answers. So
teach a man to fish, teach a person to fish.
That's our philosophy in
sushi.
Well, that's our philosophy in our business, because we want to empower people, not have them relying on something external. So to be self-reliant with your intuition, instead of constantly running to get your cards, right? Go get your cards read by somebody else. So, but before we pull a card for the day, we want to know which tarot card fits your day today. And if you don't have those cards, pick one out of the imaginary tarot deck in your head and drop it in the comments.
We want you to think fast and drop it like drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, I'm just helping him out with his
in the comments.
His beatboxing. So in the comments. And also tell us what it means to you. First impulse that you feel.
Now it is time for the card of the day. This is a collective read.
Here is the card of the day. It's a fun one. It's the Eight of Swords. Yay, the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords. Okay, the swords is the poop. And I've pulled a lot of swords this last week.
Swords is the poop.
It is. The swords are like the really icky stuff you got to go through in life, where a lot of the other suits are about desire and building your business. But the swords are like trials, right? They're not the trials that you choose for yourself. And the Prisoner card is about it can be about a serious illness.
Self-contained, isolated in your own home.
Right. I mean, it's the Prisoner card can be about you being publicly humiliated. It can be about you feel trapped and isolated, and it can definitely be about devastating illness. When David Bowie passed away a couple of years ago, and he did that last video, Lazarus, this card from that moment on always reminded me of David Bowie because of the whole vibe of it. But the thing about that video, if you've seen Lazarus by David Bowie, it's sort of like, there's death and rebirth and there's cycles. But with the Prisoner card, the message that it gives to us is that the main message is that it is a temporary bondage. It's a temporary thing, and it's going to pass. And sometimes, that means into the next life. Like David Bowie's song was like, he passed away soon after he did that video. But the Prisoner card for the rest of us where's the thing? It's a temporary situation. It's going to pass. And the thing to understand about that this Swords card, this particular Prisoner card, is that it's sort of self-imposed. We can get ourselves out of it. And if that prisoner is our emotions, like it cautions us to not get wrapped up and make that prison more devastating than it is. So be cautious of the emotional prison that you put yourself into, but also be careful not to box yourself in sort of a prison of illusions of your own mental state.
So now it's time for the self-care tip of the day. This is something easy to do right now to lower anxiety, stress, fear, and depression.
Consciously relaxing is something that we tell ourselves to do, but we don't do. Breathe. right? And I'm not talking about consciously relaxing by taking a nap
Mhm.
or Netflix and chilling. I'm talking about an intentional systems check-in with your body. So if you do this intentional systems check-in with your body, right,
Mhm.
it's going to really help you. And I try to do it as often as I think of, because we tend to separate our minds and our bodies all the time, right? We're not in this society where we're out foraging in our gardens, and we're not in a society where we're out, hunting and using our bodies and our minds in a connected way.
Right.
So we tend to go to work and we separate our minds and our bodies. And we constantly take our minds to work and neglect our bodies. We've just learned how to do this in our Western culture. So we end up with this fatigue and this muscle tension, and we haven't even done anything strenuous. Right. So I think part of my intentional connection with my body to get reconnected is to get reconnected with the things in my garden. Like I just got to chill. The things in my body, like what have I been neglecting?
The thing with this is the tip is to consciously breathe. Okay. Bring a conscious breath into your body. Make it intentional. This intentional relaxation relieves body tension and interrupts the brain's release of stress-stimulating neurochemicals, the #1 killer in America, and lowering stress reduces heart disease, high blood pressure, and pain. So an intentional deep breath, consciously relaxing, and let's do it right now. An intentional deep breath. Just consciously relaxing.
So the biggest, fastest key to reducing stress involves conscious focusing on relaxing all or even parts of the body. Like I know when I'm working, I tend to get this, like my right shoulder starts to go up and I'm like, and pretty soon I'm like, and I find that I've compressed my lungs and I'm compressed the front of my body, and I'm not open and breathing. And it's so simple, but the #1 thing we need to do in life to live is to just breathe, right? Once our breath stops, we can go long periods without water, without food, without wine, without all the things, but we can't go more than a couple of minutes without breathing. So stop, drop, and breathe into that place, wherever it is. I know mine's like under the ribs. It's like, I just got to bring it in. And it is so easy. And we know this, but we just don't stop and do it. Right. And also, little tip for you guys that are all into that medicine-y plant stuff. So continued.
You're funny.
All of you, Bhakti Festival chicks and guys that go do the yoga retreats and do ayahuasca. So continued deep breathing through the nose. And expanding those ribs. If you're doing a deep breathing meditation, it increases the release of DMT into the lungs, because that is a place where DMT is created.
And so DMT, by the way, is a chemical that allows you a connection to the all that is, the everything in the universe. So when you have that release, you have a deeper connection with whatever that bigger source of everything is. So you feel more connected.
So it's DMT in the lungs. There you go. Just do some deep breathing. It'll make you feel good.
Let's all take a moment and take another deep breath to reset. And I want you to feel it like an internal hug. And if you can do it through your nose, even better.
I thought that one kind of knocked me back. Even if it's a couple of seconds a day to stop, smile, breathe, hug yourself, do little tiny things that keep you going. Okay. Because your mental health needs to keep elevated as much as possible. And that alone is going to help boost your immune system.
Right.
And so even though we had been teaching in-person workshops locally in Vegas for years, we stopped doing that 3 years ago because we kind of saw a change coming in our space and kind of like, we didn't know it was going to be this kind of change, but our personal desire for a more solid community prompted us to create our online metaphysical school and community 3 years ago. And it really kicked off 2 years ago to empower more people. 24 hours a day while we connect our tribe across the globe, the spinning round
world.
And here we are, which is like, wow. I've talked to David this morning, like, here we are. This is what we've been creating the last couple of years.
And now it's got a bigger need than any other time in the world. So
eventually created a fully operational healing center that fits in the palm of your hand. Check that out in the description. Remember to smile, to laugh, to exercise your mind, to hug yourself,
Right.
to consciously relax and breathe, to activate that DMT in the lungs. And you'll feel better as often as you can today.
Since you've watched this far, be sure to check out the goodies that we've got for you. There's a link in the description below. If you liked this video,
Hit the like button.
and if you want to see more videos like this,
Be sure to subscribe, guys.
and spank the bell
So you're the first to know.
when we drop a new video.
Or go live.
And now it's time to check out these videos over here and over here. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you soon. I'm about to pour more tea right now.
Do it. Pour that tea. Do it.